Hey guys, Billy Davidson here, Davidson Pressure Washing Painting, Hammond, Louisiana. Wanted to hop on here real quick to give y'all a little rundown what we've been up to all day. Like literally all day. We've been running quotes all day. We did 9 very large commercial bids, quotes, shopping malls, everything from shopping malls, parking lots, all the striping, parking lot striping. It's just all kind of crazy stuff we bid it. So we got all those quotes in to everybody that needed them. Now we headed back in, hadn't ate lunch all day. That's about where we headed at now. It's kind of getting late in the afternoon now. Pretty much been fasting all day. But other than that, it all went well. Some of the stuff was really complicated, so that's why I wanted to visit each job site. So I wanted to talk about how to get some of these commercial accounts. You know, if you're interested in getting some of them, they're really easy to get if you know what to do. If you don't know what to do, they're incredibly hard to get. So to give you a little insight of how I do it, and you know, this is not to say that it's going to work every time for you like clockwork. It does take some experience, but 2 ways that you can go about doing it. Well, really 3 ways. You know, you could advertise, and hopefully they call you. You know, something like that. Or you can do it a couple ways that I have a little more success. By the way, today's January 29th, 2020. It's been cold and rainy down here in Louisiana, low 50s. Had wind been blowing out of the north, and kind of a light mist rain in your face all day. So that's what we've been kind of up to. And go and look at 9 jobs, commercial jobs. You got to walk every one of them, figure them out, figure out the pricing, when you can do it, the hours. It's kind of taxing, you know, but we got it done. So this is one way I do it. You can go into these commercial locations. Let's just say, for example, a shopping mall. Might have 7, 8, 9, 10 storefronts in there. Anything from it might be a restaurant in there, it might be a Chinese restaurant, it might be a dry cleaners, might be a CPA, what have you. So if you find one of these places that are dirty, you know, obviously you kind of got to use a little common sense. You want to walk in a couple of the places with a clipboard, maybe some business cards, and they're not going to be able to help you. They're not going to hire you, but maybe they can give you some information of who to contact that could hire you, that may be wanting a quote. So, for example, if they had a fingernail place on one end of the building, and maybe a real estate agent on the other end of the building, or a CPA, or a professional service, some type of financial service, one of those loan places or something like that, I would choose to walk in the professional place, maybe the CPA or the home loan mortgage company, whatever, you kind of use your common sense there, whatever one that you might feel like they would have a better relationship with the property owner or the property manager versus the little girl that's doing fingernails in one of the doors. So kind of keep that in mind, and I hope that makes sense. You know, go in there and basically you walking up with your clipboard, introduce yourself, obviously hand them some business cards, and tell them, you see the building's really nasty outside, or the parking lot needs striped, or there's some potholes that need to be fixed, or the roof is dirty, whatever the problem is. And you want to get to the person that's in charge of those services. And it may be a property manager. It could be the property owner. So obviously that would be better. And a lot of times they're going to have a first or last name. Oftentimes they don't have a phone number, but they may. So get that information if they have it. Then maybe try another place in there and see if you can get more information. Sometimes there's partners that own these buildings, these little strip malls. So hit 2 or 3 of those places in that shopping mall, preferably a professional service in there, like we talked about, maybe an attorney that might be in there, or something along those lines. And once you got that information, then you want to go ahead and go forward and try to make contact with that person, whether it's email, whether it's a phone call, or either both. And if you got an email and phone number, I would hit both of them. Now, usually you can get some success with that, especially if the building's dirty and they're interested in cleaning it. They may request a quote, and then actually the ball's in your court at that point. Whether you quote it properly, you can sell them. You got to sell your services, whether you're insured, your references, your experience and stuff like that. So that's one way of doing it. The second way does not require you to get out your house. And it is successful, but often takes a little more time in front of a computer. And basically what you want to do is log on to your whatever county you in, whatever little city you tucked away in, or whatever state you in. It's always going to pretty much be the same. You go on that county website. Here in Louisiana, we have parishes, so I know the majority of the United States are counties. I think a couple other places they got bureaus, but you get my point. Go to the clerk of court, the tax accessories. You will need that address to punch into the top search bar. I've done this all over the place, so this really works. I've done it all over the South, pretty much. Anywhere from Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma. So it all works the same, and it probably works the same in your area. So there's a top search bar. You do an address search, and there again, they're going to pop up with probably a name and probably a P.O. box. So that gives you some more information. Maybe you can shoot them over a flyer. If there's a home address attached to that LLC or that incorporated, you might want to pay them a visit at their home. And obviously, you're going to have this information armed. You know that they own 2 or 3, 4 different shopping centers in town, but you're not going to tell them that right up front. You go knock on the door. Let's say if there is a home address, and let's say the guy's name is Mr. Joe Jones or whatever, knock on the door, introduce yourself, tell them you're in the neighborhood, you want to give them your power washing card or your personal information, and see if he has any work. And obviously, he probably owns the shopping center, so you're not going to say that. See if he will say, yeah, I own a couple shopping centers, or he might want to test you out, maybe hit his driveway first, build that relationship with him. Now you know that he owns all this property. Now, you got 2 trains of thoughts here. Do you give him a really good price on his house to try to build that relationship with him? Or do you go ahead and charge him the real price, because now he might be expecting those cheap prices on his commercial account? So be careful with that. That's if you do get in front of them, and if you are at their house putting a quote on it. And that's how I've been successful with doing some of my commercial accounts. I realized that somebody owns several shopping centers or a large warehouse, and I'll go to their house once I dig up all this information and give them one of my business cards, and go from there. It's been working pretty good. The other way is if there's only a P.O. box listed on that clerk of court county website, there are other paid services on the internet that will track down the owner of that P.O. box. It's been a few years since I've done that, so I'm not right on top of my head know which one you have to use. But it's a cheap service. I think it's $1 or $2 per P.O. box that it'll give you the owner. And generally, it's fairly accurate. Now, once you got that owner's name, because oftentimes these shopping malls and commercial accounts or warehouses is going to be listed in a business name. And if you can get that guy's personal name or lady's personal name, do a white page search, find out their home address, try to mail something out to their home, or there again pay them a visit. And I know it sounds like it's a lot of hoops to jump through, and it is, but that's about the ways that you're going to get some of these commercial accounts. Now you might think, well, can I just walk in there and hand my business card to the little lady who works at the fingernail place, or at the Chinese restaurant, or at the dry cleaners, a place like that? Usually, you can, nothing stopping you, but usually that's the end of it. Those business cards never leave her possession, or maybe unless it's in the trash going out the door. So doing this homework, it's a very powerful way to get to the person that is the decision maker, that is the check writer, and that's the people I want to talk to. I try not to waste too much time talking to other people that can't make decisions or that can't actually write a check. So, that being said, you want to be very targeted with it and get in there and get it done. And, like today, we bid at 9 different commercial accounts. We probably won't get all of them. I know that up front. So, but all I really need is 2 or 3 of them. If I can close 2 of them, that's great. If I can close 3, that's even better at a high ticket. So you know, when you're bidding out 9 of them, you don't have to go dirt cheap on them, because you know you're probably going to get at least 1 or 2, hopefully 3. And that, you know, that's all we need to keep us busy for weeks, because they were big. So anyway, I hope this helps. If y'all need my help personally, you can give me a call at 985-345-0778. My name's Billy Davidson, and I'm the owner of Davidson Pressure Washer Painting, and we'll talk soon.